Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Alva, Oklahoma, the east side of Alva. Yes, we're here, Rose and Ben, on the radio. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, the wisdom of Rosie comes forth daily. And on this show, we don't do the show daily because to us, a morning show needs to be, well, barely in the morning. This is the most mature and latest morning show in the free world, and we welcome you. Our pilot today, the producer and director, wearing all those hats, is the associate SID of NWOSU, Cade Kennedy. Cade is waving now to the crowd of hundreds that are assembled here to watch, listen, and learn. And at the end of this hour, as we always do, well, pretty much always, well, occasionally, we'll probably do it today, Rosie will give you a tip to enhance your life. This is not a frivolous program. We give really, really real stuff. So working without a net, ladies and gentlemen, here's Rosie.
Oh, good morning, Benny. It's a good day to be alive in Alva, Oklahoma.
It's a good day to be in Alva, Oklahoma. I'm telling you, Rosie, the first time that the frost is on the pumpkin, as it was this morning, it seems like it's 9 degrees. Now, it's 60 probably.
It was 35.
So what?
35 this morning when I headed out to the swimming pool.
When did you head to the swimming pool?
At 7:30. I'm getting a little lax.
What time?
7:30.
I think I got up then, but after going to the bathroom, I'm pretty sure I went back to bed.
I think anybody in their right mind should.
I would think. Yeah, I've always thought
But
that.
actually, it wasn't as cold as it was yesterday because the wind wasn't blowing. Yesterday, it was really cold.
Yeah, it was.
But today, it didn't seem like 35.
You know, I noticed that Friday night we were in Forgan, and the temperature really wasn't all that bad. It was 52-ish like that, which, you know, the Alabaster Caverns are 52 degrees a year round. And when you go through them in the summertime when it's 107, and it feels really good down there. But 52 degrees with a stiff wind as it was Friday night is kind of punishing.
That wind will do it every time.
It will. Rosie, we have a holiday coming up. It's a holiday to most everybody, not everybody, but most, and it's special. And you have special guests.
Oh, I do. We have a fantastic program this morning, and with Halloween coming up, this is very timely.
Very.
There was rumors out that the museum is haunted.
Those are not rumors.
Well,
those are real.
Well, okay. And I have Elaine Graybill, Dawn Lynch, Lenny Reed, and Beth Smith. They all work up there, and they are here to tell you stories that have actually happened that they have either seen or they have heard. And I think that we're supposed to be the second or third most haunted, I don't know if it's a 501c3 in the state of Oklahoma.
Public facility, I think. Third most haunted public facility.
Okay.
Is that right? I think that's right.
We'll take that. We had Lenny's going to tell you, or somebody will, about being on the air with Back in Time, and I think somebody's going to tell us about that. But the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to ask Beth Smith to tell a story about being in the museum and some of the haunted, I'll say, festivities.
Hi, Rosie. It's fun to be here and to tell the stories of the museum. Now, you have to be a believer in ghosts. I won't say that I really am, but there's things that happen in that museum that I can't explain, nor anyone else can explain. We have noises, we have things move, and it's hard to know whether it's somebody pulling a joke on you or whether it's the real thing. However, we do have paranormal people come and visit from time to time. And we had one group that was scheduled to be there with us. Well, our business manager at the time was not a ghost believer. So she brought her own equipment, her own recording equipment, and her microphones and interviewed them. We were on the second floor, standing outside of what we call the mortuary room. She was interviewing the paranormal people, asking them questions. As she asked her questions, some of them questions were like, have you ever helped a ghost or an energy get to the other side? Her equipment began to have static. The more questions she asked, the louder the static became. I wasn't the only one that heard this. Some of our board members were present at the time, and they also heard it. It's hard to explain where that noise came from, but the paranormal people asked her to quit asking those kind of questions. So she began to ask questions like, how long did it take you to drive here? How many miles did you drive? And the static went away. We can't explain it, but it's a question as do we have ghosts or don't we?
Oh, okay. Do you have, while they're here with you, do you have another story or do you, okay.
I go to that museum at all hours of the day and night to do work. One morning I went in about 3 o'clock. As I went in the back door, I could hear footsteps upstairs. Well, I used to have a board member that thought it was funny to be upstairs and scare me when I came up. So I thought it was him. Well, when I went upstairs, he wasn't there. I don't know whose footsteps I heard, but I know I heard footsteps.
Okay, Beth. Those are a couple of pretty good ones. I'm going to pass the mic on down to Lenny, and why don't you tell us maybe one or two stories?
Ladies and gentlemen, Lenny Reed. The crowd goes wild.
I'll tell my favorite story, which is Sarah. And Sarah's a little girl. And when we got ready to do our first haunted history program, the Head Start teachers came up and asked us if we knew about Sarah. And apparently, they were getting ready to dismiss the kids in Head Start to go out to the playground. And a bunch of the kids said, well, can Sarah come with us? And the teachers looked at each other like, who's Sarah? And the kids pointed out that it's the little girl standing over in the corner in the white dress. All the kids could see Sarah, but none of the adults. And when we asked the paranormal people about this story, they said that was quite normal, that most of us have seen spirits when we're young. We just don't know what we're seeing. And however you want to define it, when we lose our innocence, we lose the ability to see spirits.
That's probably why I can still see them.
And the other one goes back to Beth over here. She redid a display in the hallway of Victorian children using Victorian pictures and turn-of-the-century photos of little kids. And she moved a couple of baby dolls from the nursery down to her display to spice it up. Well, without saying anything, about a week later, we had a paranormal group come in that do pay $250 to spend the night in the museum. And they came back and said, we have a very upset spirit. Her name is Irene. She can't find her babies. And according to them, when you put something somewhere, the spirits expect it to stay there, not be moved around. But that's two of the stories that I know.
Okay, Lenny, or someone tell me, do we have 4 ghosts that we know of up there? And tell us who they are that we kind of think we know.
We're talking about the spirits that have been observed enough that they've been named.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we have the infamous trapper who hangs out in the prisoner of war room, and he only speaks Russian and German.
And he came in to the hospital from the prisoner of war camp, as I recall the story. Is that correct?
Well, that's the first I've heard that little detail.
Okay.
But that's very, if I can use the term logical, I would say that is logical.
I'm not sure logical has anything to do with this particular room on this particular day, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
But that's the trapper story, and you may hear a little bit more about him.
So Lenny, the trapper,
Irene,
Sarah,
Sarah,
and the baby. Did the baby have a name?
not that we know of.
Okay.
Now, we have several reports that Dr. Hinkle pops in and out of the hospital. So
Well, he would have a right to.
Oh, yeah. So there are lots of stories, but I think it's time I pass this on to someone
Thank you,
else.
Lenny. If you're just joining us, this is the Rose and Ben show, heavy on the Rose. Not that Rose is heavy at all. I just mean heavy on, never mind. We'll get to that
You're in
another
trouble
time.
already.
We're talking today with a group of people about mysteries at what used to be the hospital. And
Folklore that were haunted.
that's it, folklore that we're haunted. Man, I don't know what we would do with
Yeah,
that here, Rosie.
yeah.
I do not know.
Well-
So we're going to pause for just a minute, attempt to try to put some money in the coffers, and we'll be right back with Rose and Ben on the radio. Stay with us on a beautiful, beautiful Thursday in Alva, Oklahoma.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV.
Alva State Bank and Trust Company, older than Oklahoma, big enough to serve you and small enough to know you.
We love to give back to our customers. Did you know Alva State Bank offers a great rewards checking account program? That's right. You can earn cash back or high interest with our Kasasa accounts. We will even refund you up to $25 in ATM fees.
How do I qualify?
It's simple. Just swipe your debit card 12 times, sign up for online statements, and have one ACH credit or debit post to your account.
Can I do it online?
Yes. Just visit our website at www.alvastatebank.com to see if our Kasasa Rewards program is right for you. We make banking easy. Whether you're at home, the office, or in your car, our online or mobile banking options help you juggle busy schedules and financial needs.
We plant roots where others have branches.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
It's Rose and Ben on the radio, and here's Rosie.
Okay, we're back with our stories. And on deck here, I have Don Lynch. And he's going to tell us maybe 2 stories from his experience being up there.
Thank you, Rosie. I'm going to change my agenda a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about Trapper.
Good.
About a year ago, we had a young lady from the university that was a psychology major, and she came in and did her volunteer work at the museum. We had the paranormal group in one night, and she was up there with them, and in the process, they had a pair of what I call witching rods. I don't know what the paranormal called them, but we used those out in the field to try to find a well site. But anyway, she took those witching rods home with her. In the process of her doing that, she took Trapper home with her also. And several weeks later, she got a hold of the paranormal group and told them that she had the witching rods and that Trapper had followed her home. So they came up, and I think they exorcised, I think that's the word, her house, and got their witching rods back. And then a couple of weeks later, she called Elaine Graybill, the business manager, and said that she wanted her paperwork. And Elaine said, well, yeah, I've got it all filled out. Come up and get it. She said, oh, no, I can't come up and get it. I've been told never to go back to that museum. And so Elaine said, well, I'll bring it out the street. No, I can't do that either. So she finally sent one of her friends up to pick up that paperwork. Just a little more story of Trapper and his. Now, I don't know whether Trapper came back after that or not, but apparently he got run out of her house. I usually sit at the lobby and watch the cameras during our paranormal section. And we had a group in right after we got the chapel open and Cedar Grove Chapel, and they wanted to go over and go through it. And so they went over. We had communications with them, and we could hear them talking. And the gentleman who was running the show asked a little girl that was wearing a green dress, we think her name was Sarah, if she could do something in the chapel to show that she was there. And she waited a few minutes and then turned the lights out. Well, now it's possible to turn the lights out in the chapel, but you can't turn the lights out on the front porch. She turned those out also. She also turned the lights out in the walkway between the bride and groom's room. They were off for several minutes, and he finally told her, said, well, can you give us light again? And the lights did come back on. The lights on the chapel were sensitive to the dark. When it gets dark, they come on. How she got those turned off, we have no idea. The third incident was the same group. They went over to the school, the Union School, and Beth has a dunce cap in there and a stool, and they were sitting there and looking around, weren't finding much. And then they found that stool and that dunce cap in a corner, and there was a little boy there. And Beth can tell you more than I can on this, but the little boy had done something wrong and was stuck in the corner, and he wouldn't tell him what he'd done wrong, which I wouldn't have either if I'd been there. But that's another story in line. I'll give you back to Rosie.
Okay, clarify that. Where was this at with the little boy? That was in the schoolhouse. Okay.
Did you ever use a dunce cap as a teacher?
No,
Rosie?
I just used a yardstick. I'd be fired now. I'd be in jail.
Probably.
Okay. All right. We'll pass this on down to Elaine, and she's going to give us 2 stories.
We are visiting things connected with Halloween today here on the Rose and Ben Show.
Thanks, Ben. My experience at the museum is kind of iffy because I've been trying to debunk everything. I am not a true believer in ghosts. Things happen, even in our own homes, sounds happen that we can't identify. But one of the investigations, I was lucky enough or brave enough, whatever, to follow the investigators to see what they were doing. And we went up to...
You're talking about a paranormal group that came in just to do this,
Just to
right?
do this, yes.
Okay.
So usually the paranormal groups start at 9 o'clock at night and go to 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever we allow, or whenever they're finished, they're ready to leave. So I went with this group upstairs. We were in the original surgery room. In there, we've got a surgery table. We've got an iron lung, and other hospital equipment. I was standing in the corner right by Dr. Hinkle's picture, trying to stay out of the way. And honestly, I was trying not to laugh because these paranormal groups are so serious. And so, therefore, I was trying to be serious. So they're setting up their equipment. They've got a static box that sounds like static to me. They try to interpret what the spirits say through that static box. So I am just over in the corner, my back to the wall, nobody's behind me. And while I was watching the paranormals, something tapped me on both shoulders. Okay, did I just make that up? Did that happen or not? I know there's no one behind me. So I just ignored it until I felt my hips, both hips, something tapped me on my hips. Now, this is another thing. Did it happen? I don't know. I stood very still. Number one, I was afraid if I moved, it would not go away. So, sure enough, something happened to my knees. And finally, when it got to my ankles, I felt like whatever it was had washed clear through me and had moved on. Can't say that I like the experience. Does that make me a believer? Still working on that part. One of my very first paranormal teams to come in, my very first time while I was back at the museum, they were a young team. Only one of them ever done an investigation before. Previously, I've been told that when you have investigations, we have a team come in, they don't want us out anywhere that will contaminate the area. So the best place would be back in my office. The door's closed, there's no windows. So when this team came in and I was greeting them, they said, "Don't you want to go with us?" Well, that kind of spurred my interest. I want to see what they were doing, why they think that we are haunted. So they gave me a flashlight. I stuck it in my pocket. I don't need it. It is very dark in the museum at night, but I pretty much know where everything is. So we get upstairs, and it's after midnight. We are walking in the hallway, and my cell phone rang. Oops, I forgot to shut it off. And my first thought after that was, I didn't tell my children where I was at. They think I'm home. So I hurried up and answered my phone, and it's Don Lynch. He's sitting downstairs at the curator's desk watching our cameras, and he said, "Elaine, you've got to come down here and look at this. On our camera system, nothing to do with the paranormal, this is our daily security system. What he was seeing on our camera looked like a school of tadpoles, orbs. They were coming from the lobby corner going into the museum. They were very thick. It was continuous. It went on. I got clear downstairs thinking it would be over with. But it went on and on that night, something that we have never seen before and something that's never appeared again. I wasn't smart enough to grab my cell phone and film our camera, but it's just something that happened that we can't explain. So am I a believer? Not yet. There have been a lot of things that we've all heard sitting together. We were sitting in the lobby on a Tuesday afternoon, catching up from the weekend, looking at our calendar and stuff. And definitely someone wearing boots upstairs from the south fire escape door ran toward the surgery room at the other end. We knew there was nobody in the museum. We had just unlocked and went in, but I went and checked. Nobody was there. Everybody heard it? All three of us heard it that day, and nobody can explain what that was.
Well,
We are talking today with guests that Rose has invited to the show, although they're friends of mine too. But Rosie is at the head of this procession. I know and we're talking about the museum. that's right across from the water tower in Alva, Oklahoma, a place that's near and dear to these people, myself too, and particularly Rosie. Rose,
Yes.
you've been involved with that building for some time. Have you heard other incidents of, my goodness, this place is haunted?
Oh, yes. We've only dipped in. But myself, I've never had an experience. But these guys have a lot more stories. But I think you might have a story. Can you tell us one of your stories?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Robert R. Brown was a builder here in town, and he had two sons, Adair and Dennis. And Dennis was a running buddy of mine. Robert built lots of homes around. When he built the new hospital, he bought the old building that was the Alva General Hospital because he wanted the heat and air conditioning systems out of it. And the building was vacant for some time, and so it invited vandals. So Robert asked Dennis, who asked me, and Gary Beersmith, may God rest his soul, to watch the building. So we moved into it. We lived there a year and a month.
Were you the first ones to live there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After it was it sat vacant for a few months.
Okay.
And we had some. I mean, I'm gonna allude to some of the conversation of today and say that building is built so strongly and so wide open that it's open to sounds that are unearthly. So I'm gonna. It's a little hard to just go, well, this place is haunted. But after you're there for a while, I'll give you two quick stories. Dennis lived in the surgical suite because it had big picture windows.
Yes.
And it's built to drain. The middle of the floor drains. There's two rooms that were for surgery. Both of them sloped to the center and had drains. And Dennis, that was Dennis's bedroom and his waiting room, if you will, or living room. I don't know. And he had two situations that went on for some time. When he would come in and go to his room, and the surgery room, it had its own area of turning lights on. And he would turn lights on, and many times the image of the blood would be circling the two drains in those two rooms. That happened to him several times. Just to the outside, let's see, it would be the south of one of those surgery rooms was a smaller room. And he would hear noises in that room. And it happened consistently enough that we did some research with people who had worked there previously. And that was what they called the death room. It was a place that they put corpses, when they became corpses, waiting on the undertaker to come
Yes.
and get them and take them to another place.
Uh-huh.
And the crying that would come out of there most times, according to Dennis, was a baby crying. Not always, but that was the predominant one. And that happened to Dennis several times.
Well, don't we have a woman that's looking for a baby? Isn't that one of our...
What was her name, Irene? Irene's looking for the baby?
Yes, Irene's looking for a baby.
That was the baby I was asking you, does that baby have a name? And we don't think so?
We've never received a report of that name.
Right. The newspaper then in Oklahoma City was called the Daily Oklahoman. It's now the Oklahoman. They came up here and did a story on us a couple of times. There was a Sunday edition that was kind of a magazine, and they did a story on it. And those stories brought up other stories of haunted places. I mean, it's not totally uncommon, I guess. The only person I ever knew that was in a paranormal group, it was quite by accident. I have a friend in Oklahoma City named Phil Smith who came up here in one of those little groups.
Okay.
And he is absolutely convinced that, and the little machine that they used, I think you called it a static box or something like that. He can hear. I've not witnessed this, but he told me he can hear and discern some words. It's not just static.
Oh my goodness.
We have a Christmas card. Dennis and I are sitting on the front, on a park bench at the front door, and it says "Merry Christmas" from the staff and management of Alva General Hospital. We have kept that in our memoirs.
Well, did you say you heard the baby crying?
Yes, but not. Let's see, maybe twice.
Okay.
Dennis would. I don't know if this is a tendency of haunted places, but it's hard for them to haunt when there's several people around. If maybe haunt's not the word that I'm talking about, but one of the calling cards is not being able to prove it. I mean, the stories that Don tells. I mean, that's pretty good stuff now, because that's more than one or two people seeing this or witnessing this. It was never more than me and Dennis, Gary and Dennis, Gary and me,
Yes.
Never more. And the hospital, very quickly, is built wonderfully. Marble, steel, lots of concrete. So the pipes are on the outside of the wall. And I was talking about the noises. You can go where the ambulance would back in, where some pipes start there.
Yes.
And bang on those pipes and run beside the sound clear up through the ramps of the hospital when nobody else is around, and you can hear those noises. So it really lends itself to noises, and it can be an eerie place not having anything to do with being ghosting.
Well, didn't you say you guys, nobody stayed up there alone?
True. After the first month or two, unless we were having a gathering up there, which we did, we had people come and visit us. I would not sit up there at night by myself. No.
So you actually believe that it is haunted?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there's a young lady. If we do this again, I would like to call her Jesse Schroeder's wife.
Oh yes, we have stories about her, don't we? Didn't she work up there?
Yeah, she worked up there and did a lot of the work at night. Yeah, Amanda. I couldn't think of her name. Thank you. Was that Amanda that brought her own equipment up there? Amanda Schroeder?
Okay. And is she the one that couldn't come back up to the? No. Okay.
We're going to take a quick break here. We are talking about, Halloween things on the Rose and Ben Show. We'll be right back.
All right.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV. Let's talk about your future. Are you looking for a career change or possibly training in computers, health careers, automotive, cosmetology, digital design, electrical trades, welding, or biomedical sciences? At Northwest Technology Center, we offer these programs for adults, high school, and homeschool students from Aleen Clio, Alva, Canton, Cherokee, Fairview, Freedom, Ringwood, and Winoka. Call to enroll today at 580-327-0344 in Alva or 580-227-3708 in Fairview. Northwest Technology Center is preparing students for success in education, careers, and life. This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Welcome to the Rose and Ben Radio Rodeo Roundup. It doesn't have anything to do with rodeo, except there is a rodeo this weekend at the home of the Rangers. Well, this would be out at the fairgrounds, and next year it'll be in the colossal, incredible new building that is going up. We're into haunting here today. It's Halloween, you know. Here's Rosie.
Okay, we've got some really scary stories going on here.
It's tough to get scared at 11:40 on a Thursday.
Yeah,
you know?
I
it
don't
needs
know.
to be like midnight-ish with a little wind blowing. Yeah.
Well, I never did go up to one of those paranormals. I've been invited, but I think at one time one guy, didn't he leave and he's never coming back?
From Oklahoma City, that group.
Okay.
Yes.
He got scared.
He got scared and he went out on the front porch and called people in Oklahoma City to come and get him. He wouldn't even come back in the building.
Do you remember what scared him?
I'm not real sure. I think he thought something touched him in his back.
So that cured him. He's not coming back.
He didn't want to come back.
Okay. All right, Beth, tell us a little bit about some pictures moving around up there.
Well, this has been a little time back. I went up early one morning to do some rearranging. Up on the second floor, we have a display of birds, Oklahoma birds. One of those pictures was on the floor. Now, our walls are cement. The pictures are hung with screws in the wall. They have sawtooth hangers on the picture, and they were secure. There is a church pew just below those pictures. Now, this picture that I found on the floor, upside down, was not broken. And I couldn't figure out why it fell off of the wall. But I kept this to myself. I didn't even tell my husband that I found that picture upside down, and I couldn't find a reason that it should be off of the wall. But a couple of weeks later, I had two of my board members sitting at my desk, and they were fellows that loved to tease. So I accused them of taking the picture off of the wall. Well, they looked at me like they thought I'd lost my mind. We still don't know how that picture got off of the wall. It did happen twice. But just recently, Elaine found a picture off of the wall, upside down, on the floor, unbroken. Now, whoever's taking the pictures off the wall, if you're doing it for fun, please quit.
You know, Trapper doesn't like to look at that picture. Okay. Thank you, Beth. Lenny has a little story to tell us next.
We have a young lady in high school today that when she was a little girl, her parents moved right outside of Alva onto a farm. And the house had been torn down, and they were living in a trailer while the new house was being built. And she kept seeing this man with a white jacket. And he would check in on her.
Wasn't that farm owned by Dr. Hinkle at one time?
Yes, it's the old Hinkle farm. And she was young, and she was about 4 or 5 years old. She has a story that one evening her bedroom door was open and he kind of just stuck his head in and checked on her, and that was it. Well, when she took her first trip through the museum with her family, she stopped her dad and said, "That's him, that's him, that's him." "That's who?" "That's the guy that keeps checking on me." And she was pointing at Dr. Hinkle's photo in the surgery room. And she still, as a high school student, swears up and down today that that happened to her.
That's quite a story.
There's not a lot of Hinkle lookalikes around.
No, and the fact that it was on his previous land, and I think he truly loved that place out there.
Well, and plus that, we have a story from one of the Head Start teachers. They were in the bathroom, and she was checking her makeup or something in the mirror, and all of a sudden this man appeared behind her in a white jacket. When she turned around, he wasn't there. So that we also have that story. Whether it's Dr. Hinkle or not, we don't know.
Well, it probably was. You know, I wasn't a believer when I first started, but I may end up being one.
Rose, we're going to pause one more time.
Okay.
In the Rose and Ben Radio Rodeo Roundup Show and remind you it has nothing to do with rodeo, but there is a rodeo in Alba, the Northwestern Rodeo, this weekend. We'll be right back with Rose and Ben and the paranormal.
Okay.
You're listening to Rose and Ben on KALV.
Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center is proud to offer comprehensive care solutions for those who matter most. From rehabilitation and palliative care to skilled nursing and long-term care, Beatles is committed to providing comfort, dignity, and peace of mind. Now, with a second location, the Beatles family continues its long-standing tradition of excellence, serving the people of Northwest Oklahoma with the same compassion and dedication they've been known for. Come by and see them at 720 North Share Boulevard in Alba. Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center, your care, your comfort, your community.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Welcome back, everybody, on a beautiful, beautiful day in Northwest Oklahoma. You better enjoy these little darlings while you can, because in a month, it's going to be 9 degrees, wind from the north at 40, and we'll all be saying, man, you know, this summer was so good. It was so good. Well, yeah, it was, but it's really short and really gone. So we have haunting people today. And here's one of the head haunters. Here's Elaine.
Thanks, Benny. I'm not sure about the head haunters, but I might scare a few people. Upstairs on the second story where the nurse's station is set up, there is an old phone, heavy desktop phone that has scared many people along with the paranormal teams. Okay, so when the museum phone rings, the extension upstairs also rings, but it sounds like the old telephone. And so people get caught off guard because if they know anything about the old desktop, those cords sticking there loose, not attached to anything, are definitely keeping the phone from ringing. But we've heard many a scream when that happens, and I kind of like doing that. So that's helping the haunting. What I want to share right now is about OETA. There is a program called Back in Time. A year ago, the team from OETA came out to film Beth, Lenny, Dawn, and I talking about our haunted history. The segment is called, I believe, Haunted Heritage. OETA is broadcasting that video again tonight. I believe it will be at 7 o'clock on OETA. So it's kind of fun. They don't show a lot of the haunting stuff. It's basically just the four of us sitting down talking like we're doing today. So try to catch that OETA program Back in Time.
You know, the haunting is requires several things, and one of the things it requires is a proper environment. It's just pretty tough to get scared while we're sitting here around this desk talking about being haunted. I promise you, if you go to what is now your museum, Rosie.
Yes.
About 12:30, 1 o'clock tomorrow morning, and go there by yourself and sit down in the middle of the second floor, not on the floor, Rosie. You don't have to sit on the floor.
Couldn't get up.
Find you a chair. Don't do that, Rose.
Unless I saw a ghost.
you can become a believer pretty quick. What you got now, Rose?
Okay, well, I think Don Lynch said he had another story.
as a board member, we have to set on Sunday afternoon from 1 to 5. And I don't know whether I believe in ghosts or not, but at 5 o'clock in the evening in the winter, it gets pretty dark in that museum.
Mm-hmm.
I come down from the third floor after turning the lights out, and I walk pretty fast down those ramps because I keep thinking somebody's right behind me. Never saw anybody behind me, but I looked back there several times. Another story that comes to mind is I was sitting down in the lobby watching the cameras, and Beth and Berlin McMurphy were there, and we saw orbs in the south end of the museum.
You saw what?
Orbs.
Got it.
And they're little white balls, or fish, or whatever you want to call them, but they're energy objects. And we saw them down in the south end on the second floor. So Beth saw them, and Verlin, and they walked down there. They didn't bother Verlin, but they just circled Beth's head all around for probably a minute or so. Now, when we got her back up, she said, I didn't feel anything. But there are things that happen there, and those orbs are pretty important to us.
Okay, does anybody else have okay, Lenny's got another story.
Well, I'm surprised no one has mentioned the piano playing by itself in the saloon room and people being, nowhere near it. And recently we had a man come.
Is the saloon, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm trying to figure out where Gary Beersmith's living quarters were. Was the saloon room a good sized room on the first floor?
No, it's on the second floor.
On the second floor, but
it's where the train
ramp,
is. Yeah.
Kind of above the lobby.
It's in the west wing.
It was a ward. So a big room. Yeah. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm just trying to get in my mind. I know this will be hard for you to believe, Lenny, but 1970 and 71 were a little sketchy to me. The memories are a little tough.
As a child of that time period, I fully understand.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. A child. Yeah. See what he did there?
But recently we had a man come in that was doing some research on his father, who was a doctor at the prisoner of war camp. And for some reason, he was on what I call the second floor or the top floor. And when he came down, he went to Elaine and said, there were two children, a small boy and a small girl, that were running around and talking and making noise. And he told them to be quiet. So, and when she went to check the security tapes, there were no kids up there. So that.
When was that?
Just within the last couple of months.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So here's Rosie.
Now, if I were a spirit, I would probably do some cute stuff around Halloween, I think. You don't want to scare people on Valentine's Day, for God's sake. But right now would be kind of cool, huh?
I don't know. Does everybody here believe in Don Lynch? Do you think it's haunted? He said, I think
Don Lynch thinks it's haunted.
Okay. What do you think, Lenny?
Of course it's haunted.
Elaine's having trouble being a believer.
Well, she may be getting there. She almost convinced
she seems
me.
To be coming along.
And what are you thinking, Beth?
Well, I still question some things that I think people are trying to scare us, but there are several things that I cannot explain.
Well, I don't know. I've never been up there. I never go with the paranormal. Probably if I'd go, maybe I'd be more of a believer.
Rose is too scared. Just wait a minute. I'm pretty sure that we won't see Rose up there that time of night, mainly because she might get scared. Plus, she's an early riser, so she's not going to want to stay up all night. Let me tell you about how to have a paranormal investigation. This has started in the last 10 years. We've been contacted through email, through phone calls, through our Facebook page. people wanting to come and explore. We do have a fee. Lenny mentioned it was $250. We have had usually 3 or 4 every year. Great fundraiser without a little bit of effort. And on Paranormal Night, Dawn goes to the Sonic and gets ice cream. That's our benefit. If you want to spend the night at the museum or just explore on your own, just contact us. Last year we had a team of 4 ladies. The lead person was from Des Moines, Iowa. She was actually a CPA, so she is not, flighty, I didn't think.
She'd be kind of analytical, I'd think.
Yeah,
probably.
and she met 2 other people in Kansas City, and then one came from Oklahoma, I believe, and they met and they explored, investigated one evening. What stands out in my mind is that before they got started, they asked to have a prayer, and we're going to agree with that. So we stood in the circle in the lobby, held hands, and they said a prayer. What was really cool that at the end of the evening, when they said they were finished, we got back together in that circle holding hands. The lead investigator was talking to the spirits, reminding them that they were home, that they needed to stay there, and that the investigators were going to hope for a safe travel on their way back home. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Now, strange one that we've had, not strange, different. We had a husband and wife. They were not professional investigators. They were just curious. They drove up from Oklahoma City, paid the fee, and there for about 3 hours, and they were happy. They just wanted to see what they could find in the dark in the museum. A couple years ago, I had a phone call. It sounded like a young voice, but when you get older, everybody's young. They were asking if they could set up a time to investigate. And so I was giving them the spiel about, usually it starts coming in at 8 o'clock and investigating. We've set a time to 2 o'clock. It turned out that these were Alva Middle School kids, and they had a blast. And their parents dropped them off, picked them up at the designated 11 o'clock, and they were all going home happy.
Incredible. Thanks for joining us this morning on Rose and Ben. We do this morning show at 11 o'clock every Thursday. It's absolutely exhausting to us, so we'll be napping this afternoon. And next week we have, oh my gosh, we won't even tell you. It's marvelous. Thank you to all of our really, really abnormal, paranormal kind of people that are here. We appreciate them so much. Rosie, thank you.
Well, I want to give you my...
Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, this show brings worth to your life.
Well,
Here now with the thought for today from Rose.
Well, this comes from Eleanor Roosevelt, but I should have started earlier to have you explain it to me, but it fits with what we did today. It says, do one thing every day that scares you. I don't think she meant paranormal.
Could have. Eleanor leaned a little bit that way. You
Okay.
could have. Thanks for joining us on Rose and Ben. Have the rest of a good day. Have a really good day. It's a great day to live in Northwest Oklahoma.
Yes, it is.